And we are streaming live. Now, do you want to just ditty around with your...
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the thing for, the progression for Superman by Goldfinger. I'm trying to... Oh, is it D? Yeah. Oh, wait, so it's...
Alright, well...
Yeah, I don't remember.
Alright, well...
Well, I lost it. Yay!
You attempted at least.
I tried.
Well...
And failed. And nothing. There was no extra points for counting towards it. I just failed and I'm a failure.
Yes, you did, Angus. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Not Moot Podcast. My name is Ian Garland. With me today is Angus Garland.
Sup, my dudes.
He is taking place of Cameron for today. And right now, let's just get into the business of everything.
The business. Like the band, The Business, because that's a band. It was from Boston. Good band. No, wait. No, actually, no, that wasn't from Boston. I think that was one of the UK bands I listened to. I don't know.
Alright. Well,
It's a band.
tell us about a band you've been listening to today, this week, Angus.
I listened to a lot of bands this week because I'm trying to get more music and stuff, and I'm trying to think. Why am I still wearing these headphones? What do you think? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what I listened to this week. I know I listened to. I don't want to mention the first one the first one I just remembered because that one's like save it for the last, build it up to the comedy. But I'm trying to think. Yeah. What else? I know I listened to a few Mirror albums again this week, just trying to listen to the rest of their collection. There's one from 2012, I think. I don't know, Apple Music's been acting funny and not saying the dates correctly. Well, the years correctly. But, this one apparently is from 2012. It's, I remember off the top of my head, it's a good album. Weirdly, like, there's not a lot of albums good after their album Felony from 2008. But I actually did like it. It's a good album for anyone who likes this kind of music.
I guess give us a little bit more in-depth rundown if you got it.
Well, I could try to think of it. I only listened to it like once or twice while I was working. It's just some of their standard like heavy kind of like chugging, weird like kind of like horrible quality chords, you know, diminished stuff like that. Just classic and weird. With their kind of whole Felony thing, but like sounding, but it had a little bit of the sound of their older stuff when they were just basically that like heavy chugging metal band before they really got like very new metalish and getting all rappy and stuff. Which yeah, that's one thing.
But I guess that's all you got to say about it?
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I could keep going to some of the other ones I listened to. So,
let's trade off so I can talk about something.
Actually, I might go grab my iPod while you do that so I can see what I grabbed.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been listening to a bunch of different things throughout the week. Some chill stuff, some more heavy stuff. I've checked out the Childish Gambino album, Awaken My Love, last year's release, mainly due to all the Redbone memes that have been coming out of the woodwork recently, ever since that one Twitter post, Redbone, but what it would sound like if you were making out in a house party bathroom. And the album Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino is honestly pretty nice. It's a lot of the soul stuff that you heard from, like, did you ever even hear a bit of The Weeknd?
I don't know. I've only heard like his song Bonfire.
No, that's Childish Gambino. I'm talking about The Weeknd.
Do we move on? Okay.
No. Like, I'm trying to compare the two.
I don't know The Weeknd.
You ever hear I'm a motherfucking star boy?
No, not at all.
Oh, hey, well, basically with Childish Gambino, he's kind of went in like a rhythm and blues direction. Well, electronic rhythm and blues direction. And Redbone is kind of a nice testament to it. It's got a lot of... The entire album, Awaken My Love's got a lot of nice flavor, and I kind of feel bad about missing out on it when it originally showed up last year.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a neat listen. A lot of gospel-y sounds. Like, it kind of got jazzy a little bit. But I mean, other than that, it was all pretty fun. Um, Another thing I ended up listening to was you ever hear of Ghost Bath?
No.
They're a black gaze band, kind of similar to Death Heaven. Have you heard of those guys?
No. I don't even know what black gaze is.
Imagine if people took elements of shoegaze and applied it to black metal.
Yeah, probably. It kind of sounded like what you were gonna
So
say
kind of like
was.
say that one Burzum. I think I played Burzum for you once, right?
I think so. They were like that very like spaced, like the band that was just it was just a lot of kind of the instruments to do anything, and then the vocalist was very like in the background.
Kind of like screeching,
Yeah,
almost.
just in the like it was just very quiet compared to everything else.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it.
All right. Well, I guess you kind of wouldn't like Ghost Bath because it's kind of similar to that,
Yeah.
although it's a lot more effects thrown in there. And it's a lot higher quality. But there's a little bit of merit to Moon Lover. It was a very, even though it was chaotic, it was kind of like a peaceful listen.
I just don't like how it's like, it's just very, it's like not, no, there's nothing really upfront about it, or just, like the vocals are just kind of drowned out, and it's just like, it feels almost unnecessary to have it, or just, I don't know, it wasn't up there and in your face enough. And it was trying to be like drowned out. Like we'll try to like for being background music and not just something you actually listen to or can have as background music.
I mean, that is a fair kind of stance on it. I think the point of it is they're trying to not be a sort of show be in your face kind of show, something more contemplative and something to kind of just sit there and process.
I've seen that. Like, I don't know, I feel like you can get that more from just having the band, just everything being clear and easily heard.
I think it's more of a style thing, like, with like a lot of black gaze artists, they don't really go as lo-fi as Burzum has gone. They kind of just go effects heavy, which kind of gives us a similar effect, but it's a little bit more, like, a little bit more artsy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Moon Lover is definitely kind of an interesting listen if you want something to kind of contemplate to. I mean, that's all I really got to say about it. It was a good listen. It sounded fantastic on my hi-fi mans. It was just it was a very good listen. Now, how about you, my friend?
So I actually realized I hadn't really listened to like many full albums.
Mm-hmm.
I did listen to Actually, I did listen to yesterday the new Rise Against album, Wolves, because to my dismay, they put out a new album this year, and as I to say like beforehand, I love Rise Against and I love all their music, but like personally, I've been feeling nowadays they've like been running out of ideas or pushing songs out of them, and you can hear it with like the album they had from 2 years ago, which was the Black Market, which was like. It was okay. It was a good album. It kind of grew on me a bit. Where there's some songs where I kind of learned to love them, and it was still really good lyrically. But like, the songwriting was very like the songs were very similar. All had the same kind of like bridge, like slowed down with like a subdivided like drum beat going behind it, and they just slow it down, and he just sings some little notes or whatever. It's So I've been like hoping that they would take a nice long break because they weren't announcing anything, and so yeah, as I feared, a new album came out, and I got to say it's one of the first albums I kind of really wasn't really fond of the first time listening to it. I've only listened to it once. It's the first album I actually really kind of didn't like.
Even on the first go?
Yeah, even on the first go. It could grow on me slightly, but like even the first song, I was like, this is not really a good song. They're the only one thing I love about the album, well, not love, I like it, is that the fact that they're going heavy again, which is something I had a problem with their last album, is that they were going the whole like. It was what they refer to as mid-tempo. I kind of understand what they mean, where it's like a very like a 120 BPM kind of song where it's just like steady and rhythmic and has and like very kind of has some nice little simple melody to it. It was stuff that you would hear from like their song like Prayer, their Refugee or Savior, and that's what their like some of their that black market that had for alt songs basically just that. And so I was hoping that they would at least go heavier, which they did, and they're going in the right direction, but they need to take a longer break because a lot of the album was just yeah, I didn't enjoy it. There wasn't anything really special that stood out to me, and it was more aggressive. There was a lot more profanity, like a lot of like songs said explicit on them, whatever, however you say that word properly.
I think you got it right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think there was a song that was just called Bullshit. He said bullshit quite a lot of times, and he started like screaming again, which is something he hasn't done for a few albums. So hopefully they continue that trend, but I don't want to see another album from them for at least like 3, hopefully 4 years, because these guys are going the same way kind of where I'd see the Foo Fighters. They just need to stop for a while. Or else they're gonna get worse.
The Black Market, that was an album that you and Dad were hyping up for a little while, right?
Yeah, we hyped up about it, and then immediately it was shot down by the fact that the album was like I was a little I don't know, I was kind of like I was like excited about it and going for it, and then when I heard it I was like, this wasn't really the album I was hoping for. They just kept getting in this direction where they were calming down and mellowing out. Like, at least Endgame still had, like, the album before that still was kind of heavy. They used a lot more clean guitar, which is weird, but, like, still kept that heaviness, and the Black Market really didn't. But hopefully they'll go back, because it's a lot of, just, feels like a lot of bands are going heavier again. They were good. Rise Against is a band when they were great when they're heavy, because that was one of the few things they had. Like, a lot of like melodic hardcore bands were like very like heavy and had screams and stuff. Most of them just sound like NoFX or like Bad Religion, but they were kind of different.
But I guess it's good that at least they're stepping in the right direction, like diving further down into catering to what people kind of think they want.
Well, actually, it was kind of I think it was probably a wide response that people wanted to hear their heavier, like their old stuff. Like, it even came to a point where they were playing stuff off of their first album when they went on tour for the last for the Black Market, and people loved it, and I guess they kind of found the message that fans wanted heavier stuff, and they brought it, and that's actually good. And I admire that they actually listened to the fans.
Yeah, because some artists, they've just kind of like they abstained from listening to the fans at all.
They just go, like I can understand a little bit of that, but it's just like a lot of our musicians will be like, this is like, they'll find something that works and then just run with it even if the fans hate it. That's after a while, or just like
Modern Offspring.
Yeah. Oh, it's I mean, I can understand when a band continues slightly with this sound, and some people don't really agree, but like half don't agree and half do agree, and they just kind of go, I just kind of we like playing like this, and we're just gonna kind of keep doing that. It's new, cool for us. I've heard some bands that do tone shifts, like Strung Out, where they do good different shifts between their stuff, from like starting out as a melodic punk band and turning into like this more like metal punk mixture that isn't actually like, it's not thrash, but it's actually like punk but with a lot more leads and stuff. So, yeah, that was kind of drifting off too much, but yeah, just that.
Yeah, it's admirable. Like, I mean, is there an artist that I can think of that is really doing? I honestly really can't think of any artists that have been doing that in my sphere off the top of my head, but I mean, there's got to be quite a number out there that are really just kind of like just doing what they think is either profitable, doing what they think will get them the most money at the end of the day. And again, extremely admirable that like Rise Against is taking that idea into consideration. Do you think they'll go even heavier, or do you think they'll just kind of plateau where they are right now?
I think they'll go heavier. But you can only really hope for like something really good from them if they took a nice long break, because they really need it. I even heard a few like uses of similes, like, which was similes can be like used sparingly, but like similes really like kind of add in, like, it's just feels always like a way to like add something that they can it's just like they don't have enough for the song, so they try to put similes because they can't really throw any other poetic devices like a very well structured thing, or like a clever like a punchline to the song where it's like the like maybe the verses will tell this story indirectly, and then you can see the last verse and it's like, oh, it's changed because of these, or like they can't throw any devices other than similes, and then you just go, yeah, this band's out of ideas. And I've heard that with the Foo Fighters and their recent stuff. So it's similes are like when I hear that, it's like danger, or whatever. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Wait, shoot, what movie was that a reference to?
I don't actually know. I knew at one point, and then I forgot. But I've actually not seen that movie that's from.
Now I need to find out what movie that is from later. But so kind of shifting gears from a band that really shouldn't put out material for a little while to a band that really is pushing out a shitload of material right now. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released the third of their upcoming album. What was it called? The Murder of the Universe. And it's a whole section about the Lord of Lightning versus the Balrog. And it's a lot of the same goofy, cheesy ass, like surf rock, like progressive surf rock that you'd expect out of them. But just kind of got a nice theme about it. They're actually doing a really weird thing where they've got spoken word bits going out throughout the entire like set of tracks. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of weird. But you know what? I'm vibing with it. Like, the final third of the album is already out, and it's, I guess there's a big total difference, whereas like a little bit more heavy on like what the hell is going on the final third than there are a little bit on what's going on in the second third. Second third has a very prominent story, but the third just has a lot more impact. Like, have I told you about the third story at all?
No.
I think I've listened to like the ending, but it's like basically some guy called Hantayumi I guess takes over some sort of mainframe and then starts, I don't know, I guess what the fuck happens, but vomit starts spewing out everywhere, and this vomit just keeps going, until, like, vomit is everything in the universe, and, like, the spoken word bitch just kind of, like, slows down in speech until it's, like, a solid, just deep, almost guttural voice talking about all of the planets being absorbed into vomit, every single molecular piece being absorbed into vomit, and a full murder of the universe via vomit.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's just absolute insanity. But the Balrog, Lord of Lightning versus the Balrog, I may need to give it a few more listens in order to kind of really capture what's going on there. But it just sounds pretty neat already, and I'm enjoying it. The video they put out with, it's a very cheesy video. Like, they just kind of like play in like either an enclosed space or out in the outdoors with like the drummer using like actual sticks for like their sticks. But when they're like doing in-room stuff, they have like just projectors of images that like go clip over them too. So they're just kind of like playing that like very low budget 80s video style that you'd see from like startup like metal bands. Yeah. And it's friggin' fantastic, just kind of seeing like a band that pulls in so much money just doing so much low effort goofy stuff.
I'd just love to see one of the things like they do what like local bands do when their drummer's outside, they just play drumsticks on their knees or something. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be funny.
I saw a band do that kind of seriously. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. You could try, but
you need to have like the right attitude about your music to kind of pull that off. Like, King Gizzard can pull off all the goofy stuff they can because they're basically just like prog rock AC/DC. they're not. They're just coming up with all the different dumb concepts they can, like the last album. Oh, not the last. Well, the last album was called like Flying Microtonal Banana. Do you expect anything serious out of that?
No, I don't. Because I've written things like that before. It's absolute nonsense, and the whole point of it is to be nonsense. I've written songs that are just about being terrible, about like being hard to listen to or repetitive and boring.
You actually should listen to Flying Microtonal Banana. You may enjoy it since you're probably a little bit experienced in stuff like microtones, maybe.
Yeah, I know about like micro. I've not. I know of microtonal music and all stuff like that, and I guess I've like heard uses of that when people do things like slide guitar and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only really like common use I could ever really think of where it's get close to like, because people do like kind of like with slide guitar kind of shift off the note a bit and will kind of get a little almost microtonal with it, but like. I don't know, I've only heard true microtonal music just once, and it was just some guy showing off a guitar he covered all the fretboards with extra like of those metal bits to make crazy microtonal music.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when you learn more about microtones, I guess the next year of Eastern Nazarene, try and listen to Microtonal Banana. Because I think you'll be able to pick up on stuff that I may not have been able to pick up on because I'm not attuned to like listening to microtonal music.
I've already like we already know about doing microtonal music, and especially how to help figure out how to like even sing those like the in between like a half step.
All right.
Like that. So we already know that stuff.
I guess then just like check out Microtonal Banana since you have some sort of experience in it. You'll get more out of it than I probably will. I mean, I may end up getting more out of it at some point, but definitely not now.
Yeah.
But
I know I still have like one more album I listen to. I know at some point I think I want to also like when we're done talk about albums just as a little thing to like kind of say some of the albums that I found out, some of the pre-releases I found and for bands that people should be looking up.
I'd say save that for the end of the show because we have a section for where we talk about.
I didn't know. I haven't heard about this section like that yet.
Right.
But well, basically, I guess I could say because this is the last one I listened to. Because other than this, I listened to a lot of pre-releases and so this last one is I have to kind of tell a short story. I won't make it too long or too short, just to kind of keep it right in the sweet spot. Yeah, that's all. Getting smooth, but basically, at my college, I'm in the a cappella choir at my college, and so there's one song we had to practice, and to make it easier, because it was like I think it was like a 20 pages of sheet music, and so it was a lot, and it was like the whole song was in German. And
German?
Yes, we had to like learn like how to pronounce the words, not what they meant, but how to pronounce them. So I could have said a bunch of like the German words, but I didn't actually know what I was saying. I was just like, oh, whatever.
That is literally like when an anime club tries to sing a Japanese song.
Oh yeah, totally. But I don't know. I've heard some of those few people who can actually sing it perfectly, and I'm like, and they actually kind of know what it means. I'm like, damn, I like that. I can understand when someone like there's people who are just mimicking it, and people who actually know how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
You're cool. But so basically, they gave us an album that had like an album of an a cappella choir performance from like a few years ago, before I came to college, and it had the one song we were learning on there. So I put it onto my laptop, onto my iTunes, and iTunes did its classic thing of thinking it was thinking it was a different album. But not just like the whole album. It was thinking all these different songs were from different albums because it just put them in this track with unknown, and then just started saying, okay, this is. And when I put it on my Apple Music, it was like, okay, this is this artist, this is this artist, and so it was just a bunch of random people with these just track as their song, and it's not even actually their song. And one of these happened to be this guy. I don't know if he's pronouncing. I think it's just a solo guy, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's called Huge Groove.
Yeah,
And,
you're pronouncing it. I think it's Huge Groove.
I just saw that and I'm like, that guy is totally trying to say like trying to be like huge as in like huge or something like that. Like that's what I was thinking. He's totally like, this sounds like something gimmicky and funky. And it just came up as this song on the album Just Feels Right. It's his album from 2005. It's it is a 11 track album. It is just like, it is, all of it is just this like instrumental funky like jazz songs going on. They're like, I don't know, it's like they're like it sounds like kind of like, what was it, like there was like some kind of like a synthesized drum beat going on, and it was like doing all these like spaced out like jazzy sax like instrument sax solos.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like this is so like it's just perfect like background music that's just like chill and like bluesy and jazzy, but like still very like kind of straightforward and like 4/4 or something. I think it was still kind of like 4/4. I don't know. It was like, it was hilarious, but like also kind of very nice at the same time, and just very like soothing. Like it's kind of like if you like take Careless Whisper and just make it like that whole main sax like part of it just like an instrumental by itself.
Mm-hmm. See,
And,
the thing is that Huge Groove, I just checked, since 2000 he's just been a solo artist, so that's all done by studio, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, it kind of, I guess it explains that, which I love because the album cover is just a lot of the album cover for this one is just him with like just him with the image flipped over behind him, and then a lot of motion blur on it. And it's just like him with this kind of creepy smile. Kind of, I don't know, the glasses are kind of, damn, those are some big red glasses, but you gotta it's something you must check out if you just love listening to weird things like that, because it's just fun when you can go up to your friend and like, I just found this amazing album and we're gonna listen to it. You don't get to know what it is, but you'll find out.
And it was,
and I did that to this man over here, and it was glorious.
it was cheesy as hell, but it was really nice jazz. It was nice, smooth. It was just like nice driving music, like.
It was actually. I actually might just like, I might actually just keep this on my iPod and listen to it when I'm like drawing or something, because I've been doing a lot of that, just music and draw.
If you like that, you might end up enjoying Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. I know I suggested to you this already, but it's a nice. It's similar. It's, instead of smooth jazz, it's kind of a style called cool jazz, which is relatively similar in like their composition style. I'd say like smooth jazz is a kind of an offshoot of cool jazz, or one or the other. But cool jazz is almost entirely instrumental throughout the most part. There's a lot of like artists that do a lot of interesting stuff with cool jazz. It's kind of like very piano heavy in cool jazz. I've said the genre name too many times and it doesn't sound like it has any relevance anymore, but like,
it's still cool. And jazz.
But yeah, it's very piano heavy stuff you'd imagine at a bar you're listening to jazz. It's got some like neat elements to it. There's a bunch of good artists that do it, like I think Charles Mingus does some cool jazz. Let me look at this playlist.
It's like you're down at the local bar and grill, and like, and it clears it, and it still clears out like 75% of the people still leave at 10 p.m. and the rest of them are just kind of drunk and talking, not even listening to music, and people in the band are playing and getting so into it they don't even notice people are not paying attention anymore, and still get up and dance sometimes too, and it's kind of weird. Oh no, I actually have been watching jazz blues band playing at local bar and grill in our town.
Oh wait, when did you watch that?
Oh well, it was just they do like the open. Well, it's the same band that was They have like, they'll have a band playing there on a few like days a night, and then one of the days they'll have like an open mic, and you get to bring an instrument and play with the band, and they'll pick up songs if you know them, or at least know how to play with the chord progressions, or they'll show you and be like, then you play with them. And then for the last hour, they just play songs by themselves, and it's just like, it's nice to watch them for that last hour.
But was this? You're talking about like a specific jazz band, or is it just like a reference to like?
I was just making a joke of being too real about watching jazz bands that like a local, well, just blues jazz cover bands that like play only at local bars and grills and never get off the ground.
Yeah. But,
just to be too real and humorous.
I guess a good few artists to kind of go for like cool jazz would be like Chet Baker.
Chet Chadley.
Where
I
are?
love Chet Chadley. Such a bro name. Actually, I guess so. I don't know. People say that and I just agree with them, I guess. But actually, I don't really know what bro names are.
Thelonious Mike.
Thelonious.
Thelonious Monk. My bad.
Monk.
My bad. There.
Funky monks.
Let's see. There is There's also John Coltrane. You know Coltrane.
Okay.
There's
yeah.
Art Tatum. Let's see. What's Herbie Hancock? Herbie Hancock is fucking wonderful. Speak Like a Child is a lovely little piece. I think that was the name of a Cowboy Bebop episode. Yes, that was. A lot of Cowboy Bebop is named after like jazz standards. If you didn't know, it's kind of cool. But let's see.
I know at some point I should read off a lot of the album names for Huge Groove because they're actually hilarious names.
You can start like talking about them later,
Okay.
I guess.
Well, that and I also want to read about another artist that you know I've been listening to too much that has hilarious. I found out they also have hilarious names, and I feel like that'd be something kind of funny for people to hear while that they're listening.
All right. Well, last thing I want to talk about before you get into that is the new Beach Fossils album. So I think I played the Beach Fossils for you once. They're an indie rock band, and their last album, Clash the Truth, was kind of in a very post-punky range, kind of similar to, I think I showed you Dive once.
I don't know.
I
don't remember Life.
But anywho, like the new album Somersault, it was actually a really well-timed record because it came out just about a week or two after the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band got a 50th anniversary re-release, and it's kind of along the same lines. It's taking indie rock and kind of giving it a 60s pop rock vibe, and like taking a lot of the elements of that and kind of applying it to their style of music. Because the Beach Fossils always want to kind of deliver on something new every album. The last album they kind of took post-punk and applied it to their indie rock stylings. Here they're doing, of course, 60s blues-inspired pop rock, and they're doing it pretty interestingly. They've even got some jazzy elements in there too. I'd say it's an interesting listen if you just really want to try something new from the indie rock world. If you're tired of, say, every other artist out there, if you want to see like what they're doing, Anthony Fantano, who I actually heard about the album from, rated it like a 5 out of 10. He spent like whole 4.5 minutes just like kind of praising it and just giving it all of this love for all of the tones throughout it, all of like the songwriting, but then he kind of had to come down on it really hard with a hammer at the 4.5 minute mark.
With specifically a hammer, nothing else.
Yeah, with a specific hammer.
Specific.
But yeah, so it's got some problems. Like he complained about the vocals on the album, which is kind of understandable. The vocals are never really that strong on Beach Fossils' outputs. But I think that was the kind of the point of Somersault with its very dreamy vocals. It was supposed to kind of blend in there. It wasn't supposed to be the kind of vocals that you're going to be able to pick up on from first listen. It's kind of just kind of eerie background noise, which, you know, probably could have been adjusted to a little bit higher in like the final mix so that like people could actually understand the vocals mostly. But it still is an okay album. Like that one black mark really shouldn't like come down too hard against it. There are some songs on there that are a little bit kind of, alright, let's get this over with, come on. But I mean, other than that, it's a nice, solid sounding record. I give it a 7 out of 10 personally, if I had to rate it. I mean, sure, my standards are a little bit lower than Anthony's, but that's a difference there. I'd say, if you don't mind some modern indie rock, check it out at some point, because the Beach Fossils have a really nice output. But
Yeah,
so
I'm not really big on indie rock. I mean, I don't know. I've only listened to a few bands. One of them was like when the vocalist of Minor Threat had his two-piece band, and that I didn't really like that one.
I say modern indie rock is kind of in a nice place right now.
I should like check that out and see just see. I just always wonder how it must feel to be like the guy who actually inspired the one band who actually inspired that genre. It must be weird to be like, I created that genre.
Oh, I mean, if you want, the same could be said about emo and Fugazi.
Yeah,
Like
it is because it's still because Ian MacKay's both of his bands created a genre. Well, at least I don't know if Fugazi really created it, but it was like one of the out of the couple bands, it was like one of the ones that paved like there were a few other bands that like in DC that paved the way for like emo, and that's what, and it kind of got its name because it was an emotional, like it was a more of an emotional punk music, and so people just called it emo. It's kind of funny how that like emo used to be, because it's great because so many old emo bands are actually kind of fun and upbeat, and I love that. Like if you actually have not heard it, you gotta listen to Fugazi's 13 songs. That's their first album, I think, and it was like, it's a beautiful album.
I haven't honestly given Fugazi much of a chance. That's probably a good place to start off.
Yeah, 13 songs is like that one, because it's like, it has their two most famous songs off that album. It was like, one of them's called Waiting Room. I'm trying to remember. These were both songs like vocals done by Ian MacKay, because he actually had this really good like he has a very low singing voice, and so when he actually sings, it actually fit for the band because they're very like weird upbeat band with like clean guitar, and it was just like, yeah, he's singing and it's kind of like it fills that sort of thing. But there was 13 waiting room, and I'm trying to remember the other song that they had on there. Where's F? I have it on my iPod, I think. And it's not on my iPod anymore. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so Waiting Room and Bad Mouth. Bad Mouth is like one of their most famous songs. Like they'd have videos of them at concerts playing it, and the whole room would just get up when like that song went on.
Damn.
Because it was just like that. Because it was this very fun song. I don't know if you want to play it quick to kind of show what the song is like. It's one of my favorite songs by them, because it's just like.
Let me see. Pull it up.
Yeah, so it's like, it's very this like upbeat, like the chord progressions like this like travels like up the guitar, and it's like and it's done with like simple bar chords, and it's just like so fun, and like
Waiting Room, right?
Yeah, Waiting Room.
Alright, so
it's so yeah, I'll kind of keep talking while he does it. And it's there you go. Yeah. It's a very fun song. I love the bass line too, I learned it. But like it's just like yeah, it's just like this. Wait, which one are you playing?
it's from 13 songs.
No, I'm playing Bad Mouth. I started talking about Bad Mouth, not Waiting Room.
My bad. Alright.
Even though this is a fun song. But it's like Waiting Just skip forward a few times. You'll find it.
Let's see.
Bad Mouth 13.
Here we are.
Yeah. It's a very fun song, and I love it. It's very upbeat and just kind of.
Does this sound like a Guitar Hero or something?
Nope. I don't think so. It could have been, but it does have that kind of rocky sound, which is what I kind of like about it. It kind of reminds me of like Skinhead rock almost.
Yeah, I can see the comparison.
Except for the rest of it. It kind of changes after this, but like. I love this.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there because we may end up getting a copyright strike.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's a good song, and I suggest like listening to it because it is just like, it's such a fun song, and it's like very like you listen to it and like, yeah, I like the song. You just kind of like dance in your seat, enjoy it.
Also, I'd like for all of you to take a moment to just appreciate the professionalism of that presentation right there.
Ha! I'm clipping the audio.
No, you're not.
I can try.
Please don't.
That's why I still stand back here.
Alright, but
It'll happen someday though.
yeah, probably.
Because all no podcast has such a thing as professionalism.
Really?
Even the ones who claim to do it, they always have something where they just like. I just feel like it's a thing to do. Have a podcast. You have to have the ability to enjoy ruining something by throwing out professional that whole professional attitude out the window for a moment to be silly and start doing things you shouldn't do on a podcast or a radio show. Like I know some people where they're like they just were having fun that night and they decided, you know what, like we're hungry, let's just eat right now. And like people, they were just like, sometimes they were snacking during a show and then they got the complaints, oh, I hate it when you eat. So they heard that, they addressed it on the show and then immediately started like eating like up into the mic or crinkling wrappers up next to the mics.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah. But that's like, those are just at least the podcasts I listen to where the hosts are just kind of funny and will like break the rules just to bother people.
But, so any more stuff you want to talk about? Any more things?
Well, I guess I couldn't talk. I was thinking about those album names if you want to do them now or later.
I guess you want to throw those album names out. Well, not the albums, like the pre-orders, right?
Not the pre-orders. I mean the funny ones.
The funny ones. All right. So let's hear some funnies.
Okay, so let's see. I'll pull it back up again. I think I had it up. I don't know why it didn't get pulled up again. Oh yeah, because I went out to look at the song. Ha ha ha! This is at a bad time. Well, basically, there's still that one that was just feels right, but there's a. Why is this not loading?
Are you on the Wi-Fi?
I'm on the Wi-Fi. Otherwise, it would say, "Oh, we're not on Wi-Fi, and you can't access this."
Fair enough.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm on a huge groove. God, that face just bothers me. I'm sorry.
What face? Let me see.
It was his face on his artist thing.
Yeah, it looks like perpetually uncomfortable.
Yeah, he looks like he's constipated.
It's like a more agitated James Hetfield.
Yeah, totally. It's like James Hetfield, right? Like in like Saint Anger, where he got rid of he had that whole just like shaved head and just the chin thing going on.
Oh.
So he loves that now. I don't know. He's just such a strange guy.
James Hetfield, what is up in your head anymore?
I don't know. I think I once saw him in his their documentary. No, it was. I saw him in some sort of video they had put out of them where he was wearing overalls too, and he like had his whole like. Cause does he have like a flat top going on now?
I think so.
Yeah, he has a flat top and like one of those like goat beards or whatever. That's what I like to think of him as. They make people look like a goat or something. He has that going on now. He's such a strange guy now. Why is he not pulling up any of his albums right now? This is so like.
Let me try and pull it up.
What the heck? My albums, Oh, it's just only going from my music. What the hell is going on?
Alright, anyway, Huge Groove. Let's see. Huge Grooves. Let's see. So we got Here to Stay. Still Huge.
I know, I love that.
Got number 2, Be Groovin'. House of Groove. 7 Large.
I don't know.
7 Large. Sunday Morning. Okay, that's just nice.
Sunday like Sunday morning.
Born 2, number 2, Groove.
Does it twice.
Like, we've got Livin' Large, Playdate, and then we have a self-titled Huge Groove.
I gotta see what the heck's going on with my iPod. I'm still on Wi-Fi. I wanted to also pull up the ones from from you know who, but what the heck? I gotta check this out again.
From you know who?
From Bonnie Tyler. Basically, I'll just say it right there.
Bonnie
Tyler has hilarious album names and song names as well. Especially cause they all sound like something that out of a Kiss album. And my iPod is acting weird today. What the heck? I gotta see if I'm still on the Wi-Fi, but it's not. It was also happening I was getting errors for upload and download, something about
Try turning off Apple Music and turning it back on again.
I'm turning off my Wi-Fi and turning it back on again. This is just weird.
I think there's a little bit of a bio on Huge Groove. Yeah, here we are. Huge Groove, a pseudonym for saxophone journeyman Steve Grove, began playing piano in the 2nd grade. and turned to the saxophone at the age of 9 or 10.
I'm offline completely. I'm not connected to anything.
His teacher gave him a classical education on the instrument, which he continued at the University of Miami School of Music, where he became interested in jazz. Upon graduation, he initially remained in Miami doing sessions and playing in bands such as Expos, where he can be heard on the group's 1987 #1 single, Seasons Change. He then moved to Los Angeles and joined Tower of Power. Hey!
Tower of Power?
Yeah.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Shoot, what is Tower of Power?
Look that up. Wait, what? Why am I disconnected, booted from the Wi-Fi? And why is there a different Wi-Fi saying I have to enter a password?
Let me look at it.
Can you just enter for yours? Because yours is the only one I can get right now. Just enter
really?
yours. Yeah, I can't get the other one anymore. It just like disconnected completely. And I don't know if it just booted me off the Wi-Fi completely or not. That's kind of... That was really bad timing for that.
I think the problem was that we ended up getting the router reset because of I was trying to troubleshoot a stupid issue with the place.
Yeah. Oh no, that just happened now. It was fine earlier. Are you on your Wi-Fi?
You're on it.
Okay, that's cool. Cause
professional.
Yeah, professional. We throw it out the window. We may have to make sacrifices for the greater good of the people.
Let's see, Tower of Power.
Tower of Power.
What are their big songs?
Yeah,
I know the name was thrown around recently for some reason.
Yeah, because I've heard that before. I can still
So
like.
Very Hard to Go. You're
read
Still a
some of
Young
these.
Man. What is Hip? So this time it's real. Down to the Nightclub. You gotta Funkifies.
Funkifies. That's awesome. I should
You
listen
gotta
to
get
that.
Funkifies.
I gotta listen to that later. There's probably one song I've heard because that sounds so familiar.
Yeah, some of this stuff sounds very familiar. I feel like it's very recent. I heard Tower of Power's name, but I don't know what it was from.
Yeah, well, I got the album names pulled up. Here's like all her albums that were not like re-releases or compilations or lives, because that's everything else for like the past year.
Mm-hmm.
Past the past like past 6 years. Because she put out basically it goes Making Love Out of Nothing. Yeah, Something Going On.
I mean, that's just kind of standard.
Out of Nothing at all? What the heck is this? I guess there's a lot of things. Cappuccino Girls.
Cappuccino Girls?
I think so. Wings from 2005. Angel Heart. Bitter Blue. Secret Dreams in Forbidden Fire.
Oh my god.
I love that. It sounds like such like a crappy like guy who wants to write a novel with a typewriter in his own like in his winter home that's a log cabin.
That is literally
totally-
that is like the next. Who is the one author that does like all of the like adult like?
The one who did 50 Shades of Grey or something?
No. There's a dude that does like a bunch of like.
I don't know. I've never heard of this.
I think there was like a book that like Aunt Seal, a bunch of books that Aunt Seal has are from this one guy. I can't remember what his name is for the life of me. Patterson, I think? James Patterson? Something like, it sounds like a James Patterson book, if that's the right name.
Yeah. Then there's my favorite title of all, which is Faster Than the Speed of Love. No, it's Faster Than the Speed of Night. Sorry, I can't. Faster Than the Speed of Night. Cut off at the end and I couldn't see it well.
Oh.
Apple Music doesn't like to display long names. They just like cut it off and then you actually have to go into the songs itself.
Well, that's like that's just for like your version because you were like kind of a few years behind since you have kind of an outdated iPod.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so Faster Than the Speed of Night, which is my favorite. I love that. It's just like why? And there's Goodbye to the Island and It's a Heartache, which has some of the funniest song titles I've ever seen because they just all sound like they all have. No, it was a different. Yeah, it was one of those the first 3 albums that has like it all sounds like Kiss song titles because it's just love. That's what Kiss is. Well, I mean, like love me, like I want to love you or some things like that. Just crazy stuff. It's Kiss. It's like because I used to love Kiss. So,
Used to?
Yeah. Actually, I still kind of I listened to Kiss again, and it holds up. There's some songs where it's like, okay, this is too cheesy for me. Like I think it was Beth was a song they had, which was like a piano ballad, like with and like with like sung over like a piano ballad at full band, and it was just like kind of funny. But like there's other songs where it's like, I think it was like I Was Made for Loving You is actually a song I really love because it's like very funky and groovy. It has this kind of disco feel. I'm like, damn. Yeah.
I mean, at least they still hold up today in your eyes, because I mean, like, there's, I guess with like kind of Kiss coming back into public consciousness for like 15 minutes due to like that one movie Last Christmas, like I kind of realized that Kiss really doesn't have like doesn't really have much in the way of musical creativity compared to a lot of artists in the modern day, but that's...
They do have a bit of, like, they have a fair bit of, like, I feel like a lot of this stuff is very, like, creative and unique. I mean, like, it was very simple and, like, but, like, I felt like they actually had a lot into their songwriting. Just, at least, especially, like, at the time, it must have been, like, this is kind of strange, because they did put some chord progressions I still have not heard used by any other band.
Really?
Yeah, because I know how to play. It's actually kind of funny to think about. They actually they play in D sharp, which is just the tuning below standard. Like so they're actually like, it's kind of like they're actually a very kind of different kind of band. Like they are that same kind of like rock walking bass lines kind of thing, but like, you know, they still are very unique, and there's not a lot of bands like them even to this day.
I mean, that honestly has like changed a little bit of my outlook, because I mean I've kind of had this outlook on them for a while that they just don't have they're kind of bland, kind of in retrospect, watching all of the artists that have like moved past them throughout the ages, like for the time they're probably groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say they become bland with time, but it just like they become very, their music becomes just kind of very simple, more simple. Like as music today gets more complex, trying to be very like being very what's the word? Well, like people still trying to have like their own creativity and write unique songs, and they were back at a time when there wasn't a whole lot like them, so they could just like do that. But no, they still have that whole thing of being very unique, because it just, no band was really covered their sound to my knowledge, or did it better than they did. I mean, there are other bands out there that kind of have that like that rocky kind of like that rocky like glam kind of stuff going on, where it's like there are other bands that are like that were very flashy and showy, and like I mean like Twisted Sister is very similar, like kind of still a little different, but like very like of that same idea. But you know, they're somehow very unique bands, being very plain and simple. And like, yeah, but it's still all good stuff. And I'd say, even if you like kind of think, you know, Kiss is not really for me, it's still worth to go back and listen to and be like, you know what, these guys actually could play and do stuff, and their vocalist is actually really good when you get to a lot of their later stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually crazy and has that whole like tremolo thing going on. He can like get that wail going on for some of those parts, and like, and all other vocalists kind of really get into that high of like the first tenors, and it's good.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, so I guess that kind of does it for just regular music discussion stuff we've listened to. So why don't we cut into our good friend Ian McDonald's band, Mostly Stories, and for our review. So, do you know much background about Mostly Stories at all?
Not much. I've only seen them once, but that's how I actually heard about them, because my cousin Brian Huntress had an open mic, and they decided they wanted to play, and so I was there. I only caught their set, I think, and I heard them, and I was like, they were a band from Abington, which is one town over from us, and so I actually heard them. They were really. When I heard them, I was like, this is I really liked it, because it was very like, a lot of local bands are like heavy bands or punk bands, hardcore bands, but they were like, a very like what I thought about it as a very like Taking Back Sunday type band.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
you know, I never really put the pieces together, but now that we're going to like listen to this in the full evaluation, yeah, it very is a Taking Back Sunday kind of band.
Yeah, I've heard it. It was just like it reminds me of all those bands where like they wanted to be a band, but they didn't want to be flashy and like and have some like political message thing. Like when you had like a lot of like the chiller bands were kind of almost, if you stretch it enough, kind of think of like the band The Descendants, where they're kind of like a normal normal bunch of people like who write just like kind of fun, energetic songs or about like feelings or emotion. And this they kind of do this too, which is also what Taking Back Sunday does, kind of. And so this is kind of, that's what I kind of like. I listen to this band, and even through like most of this album, I can hear that. But I can kind of start with the thing. Is this first song that I listened to is the one exception I found to that though. This song really kind of, it's very different for them, and it actually sounded more like a song by like Days and Days, which was a folk band from Texas, a folk punk band. And this song, first song, didn't really sound like a Mostly Stories song, which is kind of, it was weird to me. I was like, kind of gave my hopes up for just when I heard that one song. I was like, oh no, this might not be the album I was hoping it would be, but I found out the rest of the album was more like them.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Like, refresh my thoughts process. Like, which one was the song that you really kind of didn't like hearing on this?
It was the first track. It was just weird to me because it just didn't sound like one of the songs.
Honestly, I kind of enjoyed Nine Lives. It wasn't anything like lyrically deep, but it was a kind of a, it was a nice opener. It kind of kicked into the attitude they kind of wanted to go for.
Yeah, it did do that very well.
The tones were very nice too. Like it was a nice, solid sounding track. I mean, it kind of mixed indie pop with emo rock, emo punk, and just the right sweet spot way for me.
Yeah, it still sounded like something from from that band Days and Days. You heard their one of their albums, right?
I think so.
It didn't really sound like, it sounded like someone else's song, which is the one thing that bothers me, where it's like, but I mean, like, I know this band, I haven't heard this band in a while, and so bands can change, but like, and even this next song right now almost kind of has that problem where it's too much like the other one, or just like not really like them, but like the rest of the album, I know it's like, this is what I heard, this is the same band I heard back at that open mic. And
you know, I will kind of give them something. These guys, you're hearing now, like they have like a bunch of different vocalists.
Yeah.
Everyone's a vocalist in this band, and it's honestly kind of cool how it gives like a big kind of group dynamic to them. Then not just it's not like the Caps where Derek James is just like sitting in the back drumming away like a fucking nuthead, but doesn't have any sort of input, except for like maybe the one time they have him sing something.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he just.
Like, especially when that guy with like his deep voice kind of shouting, "I feel like shit," like that's a nice impacty voice.
I liked how they had that that girl going, because back when I saw them, I don't remember them having a female member of the band. I guess that changed recently.
Let's see. There's Devin Chavez, additional vocals courtesy of Griffin Gardner. There's probably Devin. I assume maybe a female.
I don't know. One of them. There was a girl in there, and I just. But like, I loved when some of these like later songs where she got in and really had these like important parts. And this is like, this last three songs are the songs I really love with it. Like because it just like, it's them where it's just like steady drums, 4/4, and like muted guitars with like distortion. This one, I feel like the guitars needed a bit more distortion though, like a bit more. The gain needed to be up a bit, because it was just like. This part, it felt a little too quiet and muffled.
I can see that, yeah.
That was my one, like, overall kind of thing about the album, was it sounded very kind of muffled, and I felt like it that lost some of what, like, the album's, like, some of the album's, like, ability to carry out what they wanted to do with it and be, like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it kind of lost its, like, it's
It had a tempo going, and it
well, it
kind
had
of
like
lost
a well, like it had like this like the energy and emotions they try to like transmit are not going to be as well transmitted because people are going to be taken out of the experience by the muffled kind of recording. Like I've heard like worse quality, but like it was just the muffled, which is weird. I don't know if they like the mics were recorded or too far from the amp, or if the amps weren't turned up loud enough for the recordings or something like that.
Maybe it was a stylistic choice.
It could have been, and they could have even thrown it through a compressor. And I know some people who do that because they think it kind of sounds good, but like, I mean, I've thrown compressors on some things because like maybe like on like just maybe my acoustic because it like we needed like it needed to have a little more. It was too high or something like that, and I just couldn't. I really wanted to kind of have it a little bit smoother and easier on the ears. And I've done, and like you can get away with some compression. I don't know if it, so yeah, I don't know if there's too much compression or just not proper recording stuff. But you know, I still say I can still listen to the album and enjoy it, especially for the like. I listened to it a second time over because I just like some of those later songs.
Like, yeah, they're gonna get into a song right now, "Sleeping Sideways."
Oh,
one of my personal favorites. It has a nice, dreamy kind of flow to it, and I really enjoyed it because it kind of spoke to a lot of the stuff I've been listening to recently.
This is just that totally very Taking Back Sunday kind of song. I really feel like Ian like probably listens to Taking Back Sunday because I've talked to him and he kind of likes this specific sound of just like lighter vocals and like nice like clean or acoustic-y guitar stuff, and so like this is kind of like I feel like this was really one of his like kind of like his personal touches on a song.
But yeah, it sounds just very nice, very sweet. It's kind of funny how like the entire EP kind of jumps from tempo to tempo to tempo.
And more like it also jumps kind of from like different sounds a little bit.
Yeah, like I feel like with an EP release, it's implied that it's supposed to be something kind of cohesive. It's like that's my only blemish I can really have against it. Other than, well, personally, I think that "Mean," the second song, is a little bit forgettable compared to the rest. Like, I'll say like everything else has its own identity. It has its own catchy like tune to it. But like "Mean," like every time it comes on, it's like, all right, yeah, this song is here. It's not necessarily that it's a bad song. It's just that it's forgettable. Like, and with like here, we're presented with some really good stuff. It's not bad to have one thing that's forgettable when like 80% of the material here is very good.
It happens sometimes. It's not you're not always gonna get that best song on the EP.
Yeah.
But like, if you still get a majority of really good songs, then you still have a solid EP going. And it's fine. I mean, I've still heard some bands who can put out an EP and it is a solid EP and it all fits in together perfectly and really is just like the songs really mesh in together and have that carry out that sound and put out these right emotions and then back off enough to then display a different emotion through two songs that sound different but somehow go together well. And it's they almost pulled it off with that. It still felt like it did flow a bit, and it was good. They had like the very kind of folkier songs that move into these more I don't know, one of these more kind of Taking Back Sunday style songs, and it just so it did come together okay. Yeah. I also kind of wished it was a little longer.
Like 15 minutes wasn't enough.
I've heard some albums that are still just as many songs, but like each one of them had like an extra 30 seconds to a minute on them, and kind of really felt like I heard enough. But like I wish they threw on maybe even like a few demos that they had at the time, because usually bands come out with a demo or something like that, or like this is an old song or something.
Right, as you can see, like all they really had for their content was Metzler, I think. Metzler, the single.
They had a lot. They had a lot of music back when I heard
all right, well, I feel like they could have done with maybe like at least cover track or two.
Or just throw in something, because they did play a lot of songs I heard back from when I heard them at the open mic, and people liked those songs. And I'm like, well, they should have maybe thrown something on there, just as a bonus thing.
Yeah, I think that would have benefited them because
Yeah.
it's like with the last EP that we listened to last week, Boxer's Jaw, Summer to Summer, or Winter to Winter. I keep screwing that up. I keep screwing it up. I keep even screwed it up on the Image last podcast. But like, I feel like with Boxer's Jaw, there was a lot of re-listening ability because it was something very upbeat, but something new to discover, and honestly a lot more fun than this. Like,
I still like this more than Winter though. That's just because I personally like this band. Well, I like this sound more than the sound for Winter.
That's fair. I'd say like the sound is still very good, considering my last remarks. But I mean, like, I feel like they could have added more content to it. Like, it's kind of forgiven with Boxer's Jaw with that, like, they're kind of rebuilding after like everything fell apart.
After they slowly one by one dropped off until it was just an acoustic, a two-piece band with acoustic and drummer, and then now the drummer's, I guess, he had left, which is a shame. He was really good for Boxer's Jaw. Like, the previous drummer they had understood the sound perfectly and was able to just do all these these very unusual beats that were do a lot of what I could think of like as like syncopated rhythms where you're playing on more of like the you're subdividing and playing on like the half of a beat.
Mm-hmm.
Which he did that.
I would say, but yeah, going back to our focused artist, what do you think would be your top songs on the record, and what do you think they can do better moving forward?
Well, Sleeping Sideways and Goodnight were my two favorite. I love these songs. This song is like probably almost... It's hard to tell which one's my top favorite of the album because these songs were just so good. Like, especially this one and this, they really incorporated that female vocalist, which I hope that she is part of the band because that is really like... Without it, the song would never feel the same live. Mm-hmm. And I love these last two songs especially because they have a melody about them, which is that whole like... They're a melodic kind of more backyard garage punk band. That's what they kind of sound like.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the melody, and having that melody makes them sound like the more like calm people who wear like normal clothes, don't get tattoos, don't get piercings, don't try to have an image. They just start a band, and it's just like them being a band, and that's it. And then they just get this own unique sound, and that's what they have going on for them. And then I even love this song too because he was yelling too, and then the girl is singing these nice notes, and then he's trading off harshly, and it also kind of tells two different stories somehow here too, and I just kind of like it. It somehow tells a story, but vaguely tells a story, but not really telling a story.
Yeah, I'll kind of note that about the lyrics. A lot of them aren't as like open and like directly telling a story. It's kind of a lot of like contemplating to understand what the meaning is. Yeah. Well, some meanings are a little bit more obvious than others. Some of them, but a lot of them are very conceptual.
Yeah, that's also another very Taking Back Sunday kind of thing, where like the songs are vaguely about something, and you can draw a story out of it, but like they don't personally like admit the story up front to you, which is the kind of the style about this, which I love. And then I like it. It's very like it also incorporates elements you'd see from like those like skinhead rock bands where they like put in a lot of those more like the very like what's the word I'm looking for? They like technical kind of like melodies and stuff where it kind of gets off key but still sounds like good, like where it uses a lot of those harsh tones to get to nicer tones. They really pulled off those last two songs, and I actually might really keep the album on my iPod just for those like last few songs. But like after that, I gotta say it's like the third one's then my second favorites compared to those two, and then the first two are just kind of my least favorite.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say 9 Lives has a lot more potential. I like it a lot more than really everything else, just because it has the right punk edge for me.
It's my least favorite on the album. But definitely my least favorite because it's really stands out for the entire album in a bad way. Like it's not the same kind of sound, and it's more kind of folky and like, which doesn't really fit with them as a band because I know them as a band and they're that whole, like, as I've been describing, they're like another like chill punk rock band, melodic punk rock band that you hear and which is technically kind of pop punky, but like I don't know, I almost can't consider it pop punk because it really doesn't feel very pop punky because pop punky's like fast and melodic and like up and just dancey.
Yeah, they kind of listed themselves as pop punk, but
they're technically pop punk, but they don't fit with all the other big name pop punk bands. Well, all the other pop punk bands out there, like Newfound Glory, which set the tone for a lot of pop punk because they're that very fast. Like the drum is doing that, like that stuff you'd hear from like Minor Threat, but like with melodies and very dancey. Like you can like actually like people who like very dancey music and hear and go poppy music and dancing and go, yeah, this is really like you really hear that poppy element. I do like pop punk, which is kind of
yeah. So I guess I'd say my favorite tracks have to be off of Most of the Stories' EP. Honestly, Sleeping Sideways and I'd say it's a tie between 9 Lives and Good Night. Like Metzler was pretty okay. I don't know if you pronounce it. And Meme was just kind of like,
I know, I saw that.
Kind of, again, very forgettable. Like, but it still had its good moments. And overall, I give this an 82. Not sure on what scale, just an 82.
I give it a C7.
A C7.
Yes, a C7.
All right, fantastic. So I think we have ratings out of the way. So, want to dive right into news, I guess?
Okay, well...
First, let's cover up some of the shows that are going to be happening soon.
Yeah.
So, this Tuesday, we won't be able to get... I may be able to get to it. I don't know.
I'll say it.
No, actually, I probably won't because I've got D&D that night. Super heavy events. We've got Be the Voice, second annual benefit concert for suicide prevention, featuring Justin Arena, Dim the Lights, and we've got...
I really want to see Dim the Lights.
They don't have it listed up on the big image, but they've got Daisy... Oh shit, Daisy Bones is playing that show. Fuck.
You think you're going to skip... If you skip D&D, tell me and we'll go.
Alright, but they've also got Sound Bandits playing too, so it's like...
Yeah, you totally should just like... I don't want to be like the devil on your shoulder, but like... I think this is something like it's probably more worth it to skip it and then we can both go.
Yeah, that's in Dedham.
Still?
Doors open at 5, music at 6.
Yeah, we could get up there. I get off of work at 5.
Oh, you're working tomorrow?
I'm working.
Oh, no. Tuesday. You're working Tuesday.
I work Tuesday at 5.
You'd have to be rushing over.
Yeah, I could do it.
How far is Dedham from the area?
Dedham. I think Dedham's like you can get there within like 30, 40 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah. We'll be there like we might at worst miss the first band.
$5 for tickets.
Yeah, that's worth it.
I could swing it. Yeah,
we should totally do this.
But yeah, so Daisy Bones, Sound Bandits, Dim the Lights. We've got Justin Arena's playing it, and it's gonna be a big old show for benefiting suicide prevention. So I guess if you're into that kind of stuff, you feel really sad about Chris Cornell dying, or just anyone else that took their own life because of their depression, jump there and, as corny as it sounds, be the voice.
The Voice, not the TV show though. That one's terrible. Don't be the TV show The Voice.
Yeah. So another interesting show that's going to be happening Thursday, the 22nd. We've got the Caps Live in Needham somewhere. I don't think they have anything exactly planned out for where they're going to be. But I mean, like that's something. If you're ever considering like going to a show,
if you just really want to see
next
the Caps,
you really want to see Caps.
But see,
you can't wait till the 30th to see them. Then
they're still a must see because they're fun live.
Yeah. Friday the 23rd, Fordham Road's going to be playing at the Sonia in Cambridge, featuring with a lot of different other artists like Lennon, the band Vu, Small Talk, and yeah, I guess Fordham Road's going to probably play a little bit of music. I don't know when exactly they're going on, but you should go there and like really help out my buddy Tom, because he's a fucking wonderful dude. And then Thursday the 29th, Amanda McCarthy is playing the Fuse Bistro in Lowell. And on the same day, Daisy Bones is kicking off their tour at Inclusion Records in Norwell. Which I guess you have to choose. Please, maybe half of you go to Daisy Bones, half of you go to see Amanda McCarthy, because Amanda is wonderful and needs support.
Or everyone get together, create a cloning machine, make cloning legal, or, you know, hide it under the table. Your choice. It's more fun to break the law. Yes, I said that on air. Don't quote me on that.
It's too late, Angus. They're going to start quoting
unless if you do proper citation MLA 8 format, not 7, because I want to stay with the times, because there's MLA 8 now.
MLA 8? When did that happen?
I don't know. They just like were telling me in college, MLA 7, don't do 8. 8's too complex or something like that. I'm like, there's a new one, damn. But yeah, so you just make cloning machines, and then everyone can go to these shows, and then both of you can report back to each other because you know yourself.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then on Friday the 30th, Geff, an artist that we reviewed a few episodes ago, the progressive jazz metal band, they're playing at Out of the Blue. That fancy little place. Yeah, they are.
Oh, I love Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue was awesome.
I need to go back there.
But at the same time, Friday the 30th, if you can't afford to go up to Out of the Blue, Friday the 30th, the Caps are playing live at the Banner, doing a bunch of fun stuff. Have you seen them at all last month?
I haven't seen them in months because I've been so busy, in college.
Weren't they playing at the Banner last month at some point?
Yeah, but I didn't catch it. I haven't caught their show since. I haven't even caught one. I think I only caught one of their shows this year.
Let me see
at the Banner, but
if I'm let me see if the Music Circus has me doing a show that night.
Yeah, because I mean I'm gonna be back every weekend anyway, so I'm gonna be back for that weekend. No problem.
Yeah.
And I'll just head over there and
let's see.
And hang out with them. Because one of the best thing about the Caps is like what makes their shows really fun is when you actually personally know them, like and get to know them, because they're cool guys and they love to talk about talk and shoot the shit about music, because they love all these different bands and they're all a very like a separate entity of the band. Also, while Ian's not talking, I just want to quote the dog. Because anyone who sees this will see that dog, and it's just going, ah. Especially when you look at it.
Yeah, that's what they're seeing right there. The display for the stream.
Just, like someone has probably also thought that too. Just like that dog is yelling.
Or he's just very happy because he's been told he's a good boy.
Maybe, I don't know. Or he's just like he's crying out for help because there's he has a mustache that's growing into the band name. But I actually think it's a very strange album cover, especially because there's no effects to change. It's just a plain picture. Yeah, it's very weird.
I kind of want to meet the dog though now.
Yeah. Oh, the dog's probably a cool dude. I wonder if the dog's part of the band. What if they're all a separate, they all form together, a bunch of bugs would form together to form, a bunch of snakes would form a person, just strangely, and one of those just one of those very spooky kind of shows or whatever, but they all form together and form a dog and then just run off into the woods. Like the band forms a dog. Yeah, the band they close the show and they're like, okay, good night everybody. They put all their instruments down. They huddle together, form into a dog, and just run out the door and out into the woods to live with live on their own. That would be something. I want to meet the dog because that looks like a good boy or girl. Damn. Yeah, you should probably go into the actual coherent plot. But so, upcoming releases from artists that are in the area. Yeah. So, Spidera has something coming soon. Fordham Road.
it's Spidera, like
Yeah.
Jake Kearney's like finished with high school, so they're gonna
Yeah, I
like
just
really
wanna
kick in
hear-
high gear, doing stuff.
Yeah. I just want to see. I hope they got they have a vocals thing really sorted out, because I know it used to be. Last time I heard them, it was Jake yelling things, and he doesn't have the best of voices.
Yeah.
I'm actually almost tempted to ask him to join or something.
I kind of want to ask to join too, but I don't have the experience necessarily.
I have the experience necessary, and I can sing.
Yeah.
I want to join.
Let's see. So we have Geff coming out with their second album. I think sometime this summer, if not later on. Geff, they're fucking phenomenal. If you can listen to their album, you really should. There's also possibly Amanda McCarthy getting a new album out this summer. Boxer's Jaw's got new material probably coming out sometime this summer, if not in September. Justin Arena has something too as well. So Boxer's Jaw and Justin Arena project, like that's gonna be a lot of stuff for them to take on.
I wonder if they're gonna plan a double release or something. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool, yeah. Or like there's like a big Boxer's Jaw feature on the Justin Arena project.
Well, yeah, they should definitely do that. Just like a double, it's all either a. I don't know if I want them to do a split, because then it's only a couple songs.
Yeah.
I want to see them do a double, release drop albums on the same day, full albums, and just be like, bam.
Not the same day. Basically, week after week, drop one, then drop the other, because that would be best for us.
Yeah, that would be best for us. That should be. We'll hope for that. I just hope for either one where they just plan it, because then that's cool, because they're both intertwined, and it'd just be that'd be kind of cool.
But who knows? Because Justin has definitely been announced that he's working on material since April, or he announced that he's working on new material in April.
You work on material whether you like it or not, and I found out the hard way.
Yeah. And so yeah, Justin's been having material in the works, so maybe we'll have something out by the end of the summer. The Caps, they promised an EP for May. They haven't delivered on it, but they should have an EP out soon.
They better have an EP out soon. They're real. I love they can write songs for a band who doesn't write many songs, which is actually good, because it actually makes a lot of their songwriting better, because they don't write many songs.
Maybe they're gonna putting the heads together and writing something over the summer, and maybe getting an EP out.
That'd be cool. I'd also like to see them or it's they do a double feature where it's half of the album is new stuff we wrote together, in a dedicated album, and then we have two releases where it's this is our album, and this is the EP of all our original songs before this album, and just in a double feature where it's just or they drop out the old songs, and then a week or two later, new stuff, and then hit you in the face, and it's just whoa, and there's so much music.
Yeah. And lastly, we've got on the list Cameron Francisco, lovely co-host, Z the Stranger's City of Ghost.
Because he ditched us to get the poontang. Or died, or both.
Hopefully not die, because I would love to keep doing the show with Cam.
I can become him.
Please don't.
Just kidding.
But I want to hear City of Ghosts come out, and
yeah, I need to.
I don't want to pressure him, but he's I've paid for it. I'm just kind of waiting for it to happen. He's probably just really busy.
Yeah, well, he is really busy. He just graduated, and he had to do a bunch of projects for that. He hasn't even gotten the show I'm doing with him edited yet and released yet, because he's been so busy.
Yeah.
And then now he's busy for the entire week. So.
Yeah, because Tori, his girlfriend, is down to visit him. Oh, up to visit him.
Yeah, up. And I'm probably my stuff. We've recorded 3 episodes so far, and I don't think they're ever getting released until a week or two, 2 more weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, Cameron's got a lot of shit down the pipeline. So I don't want to pressure him. City of Ghosts will come out when it needs to come out. Oh, things that came to the top of my head. So Patrick Eo with the Yo-Yos and Hello Tortoise, artists that toured with Justin Arena back in April, May-ish.
Well, yeah, wasn't that back when he did his first tour and came back in no, his first tour, one of the tours he did, I don't know if he did it back.
I think it was April, actually.
Okay, I guess that's a different tour then.
It was April Vacation, maybe?
I didn't hear about that tour. I only knew about his tour back in that happened at the end of December. This year.
Yeah, well, he did that tour, and he also did a follow-up tour where he toured with Patrick.
Oh yeah, was he up in New Hampshire?
Yeah, up in New Hampshire, up in Vermont. He went to New Jersey, I think, and he went to Philadelphia too.
Damn.
Yeah, we went far. I'm pretty proud of the dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like, yeah, he's got Patrick Yeo and the Yo-Yos and Hello Tortoise both have stuff they're working on this summer, so I guess keep an eye out for that. And I think that kind of does it for like local-ish artists that we have to keep our eyes on.
I guess I should probably go on to the ones that I found recently that a bunch of pre-releases for bigger bands, or at least not bands that are truly local anymore, at least, or could be local to somewhere else. I don't know, but some of these bands I've never heard of until now. We're gonna start. First one I heard is this band called Edguy, EDGUY, or
I'm telling you, Edguy is actually pretty big, dude.
are they? I've never heard of them, but I just want to just say random things. So I'm just new album pre-release if you hadn't heard about. It's called Monuments. I just heard it and I was like, this is pretty cool. I hope. I was having a thing where I kept finding albums recently and they're all pre-releases and it's really frustrating. But yeah, it's really good heavy metal, very Anthraxy, which I like.
Release date is July the 14th, so you have a ways away for that.
Yeah, and they only have one song, the first track out for it now. I was actually, if you didn't know, I was about to do it in the military alphabet of Echo, Delta, I forgot what G, wasn't G like Gamma or something?
I think Gamma.
Gamma, I don't remember what U was. What was it?
Utah? I think so.
Yeah, Utah or any Yankee. So, because I just need to...
Edguy.
I want
it's pretty hard to miss out.
Well, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like so many of like the G and the D together make it hard to probably hear on a recording or something sometimes if you say it wrong.
Edguy. How about that? All one word.
And with some clipped audio. So yeah, next one. I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. There was a few other ones. Oh yeah, I think this one by a band called Unleash the Archers is also on a pre-release. Yeah, because it's 2017. It's a heavy metal band. It is a female vocalist, which is amazing because I love female bands with female vocalists. Like, I just heard it and like, there's no way it could be a female, and if it is, I'm bullshit.
Apex, is that the album?
Yep. It should be coming out of I think it's supposed
June
to be coming
2nd. Oh wait,
yeah.
Wait, what? June 2nd?
June 2nd? Really? It already came out?
Check the album.
It did come out.
Oh shit.
So that's a new release. It actually just came out. Last time I checked, it didn't come out yet.
All right. Well, you can now listen to it.
Yeah, you can now listen to that full album, which I suggest you should do because I've only listened to the first song. Well, the fourth track that was "Cleanse the Bloodlines," but it is a female vocalist because I could hear it from the high note she was hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was out of the male vocal range. I think she's an alto, or maybe even like one of those in betweens for alto and soprano. But and then one of the big ones that's like coming out is going to be Dying Fetus's new album, Wrong One to Fuck With. Mm-hmm. They released the first 2 tracks of the album so far, which is a really good album, minus the recording qualities bothered me. So, like, it sounds promising, and I might like it if I hear the full album and really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's supposed to be an 11-track album. It should be coming out. I think it should also be coming out in a month, at least this month or next.
Let me look. What was it again?
Wrong One to Fuck With, Dying Fetus.
Wrong One to Fuck.
It's still a pretty good band name. Not as good as Operation Cunt Destroyer, but...
So yeah, June 23rd. The same day as 2 albums I'm really looking forward to. The Vince Staples album that I mentioned last time, Big Fish Theory. 2 really neat tracks on there, and it's a nice expansion from what you were introduced to on the Gorillaz album.
I gotta see if the new Wage War album is coming out. Check it out. It's I gotta go down here. It's called I'm trying to remember which one it's called. I think it's called Deadweight.
Deadweight.
Yeah.
Let's see. Deadweight. Let's see. Do they have a date for it yet?
They should. It's on pre-release right now.
Let's see. Do they have a date for it? Maybe something in this. There is nothing on this website that's telling you.
I'll look it up real quick, because if I look it up, you should go to keep talking about your other releases, but wow, we're getting slammed with music.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's also coming out with a new album on that day too, Murder of the Universe. I mentioned it earlier. I think that's probably when the first third of the album will finally come out, and we'll finally see a full composed story of the Murder of the Universe, whatever it's going to be. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for Vince Staples. I just hope that there's some more stuff coming along the way. Hopefully some soon, because just dip into EP reviews and like talking about like old stuff is kind of getting old. But I mean,
yeah. And then there's Wage War's Dead album, Deadweight, is supposed to be coming out August 4th.
August 4th.
Yeah, it's a really ways away, but hopefully they might.
That reminds me. Sorry to cut you off, but did you hear that Bill Murray has debuted that he's going to be putting out a live album? Well, not a live album. He's got a music career starting up.
Yeah.
He kicked off like a show, like a surprise show in I think like Berlin or something like that. He's singing operatic style over like a big whole band. What is it?
Like a big like brass band or something?
No, I think it's actually an orchestra.
An orchestra.
Yeah. Like I think he's like singing classic or something. I'll have to like do some more research.
Like, is it like a Sinatra kind of thing going on?
Maybe Sinatra-ish. I don't know.
It could be like him over like a big band where they'll have where it's like a big band or like when you like have an orchestra, but it's really more so a band with like a few in each section sometimes.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it might be that, because I could just see this Bill Murray just like with a jazz drummer and like a few four winds and maybe like a few strings and a bassist.
Something kind of like something we saw in A Very Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of like, you know, when you see like a I'm trying to remember, wasn't it like a there was like a movie that was kind of like Blazing Saddles that had like a bunch of like a band going on, and that's what I'm imagining, where it was like the band behind the big pedestals, like when they're like in suits and it's just all white and like black and like very flashy, like old like Sinatra style music in like a big rich hotel or something.
Yeah. I
just kind of like a big like a big. Well, just when you hear big band, that's what you hear. It's like those jazz bands. They're all like with over like some guys singing in a very like flat baritone voice or something.
But yeah, so look out for Bill Murray when he releases his album in September, I think it was. It's a long ways away, but he's doing like one big old tour in Europe and then a tour throughout America to like kind of celebrate that he has an album coming out. And let's see if it's any good.
Yeah.
And I guess that ends it for some news.
Yeah, that ends it for that all. That's
all
the news I got.
I guess is there any updates? Do you have anything coming down the pipeline you want to share?
No, but I'm looking into starting to get my own recording equipment. I had a good look this weekend of trying to get in mind of things. Or at least looking at like some like just cheap, decent mixers, and probably gonna look online for maybe some used mics through like Guitar Set or something. A source that I can trust at least, because you can't just get used recording equipment and then hope it will be good.
Well, we're probably going halvesies on getting that at least a mixer. So
yeah, I want to at least get get like either the 23 or the 50 or the 100 one. Because I don't know, did the 21 have a thing for clipping?
I don't know. I think the Alessis. I know you're gonna hate me for going off of recommendations, but I really trust what Garrett Weinzierl said, and that's the one he goes with.
I think we should probably do that, but then we should probably at least cheap out and not get $100 microphone.
Yeah, $100 microphone we can do without for a little while.
We don't need that much. I want to at least get that when I have like enough, like I've made enough like just album sales to cover that, because it can't happen if you try hard.
Yeah, but so yeah, we're gonna have recording equipment soon. You might have some of your solo stuff done.
Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna have my solo stuff done. Once I get starting recording, it's just gonna go, and then like we're gonna start. I'm gonna have to space them out because there's so much backed up stuff to record.
I mean, Do you think it would come out good if you recorded anything on a blue snowball?
I could try, but I really want to use an instrument mic for the instrument mic. Like I feel like I want to at least try that. I could try that for vocal stuff, but like you want an instrument mic for instrument stuff, just so like you're using that right mic and it comes out right.
Like if I were to try and record my newly stringed up acoustic.
You could do it on that mic. It's not going to be like the best, but it is going to work, and it could sound good if done right.
Mm-hmm.
But
what would be the conditions for doing it right? Actually.
Oh well, the conditions for doing it. Well, one, you'd have to have it very like level with the guitar and able to and just like. How does it pick up? Is it all like around?
It can either go for omnidirectional, mono, or stereo.
Oh, wait. So, well, that's not the kind of actual terms for, but like, so it basically does all three kinds. It's all three kinds of microphones.
Yeah.
Where it kind of pick it up, or it can pick it up from these ways, or just pick it up one way.
Yeah.
Okay, then you could actually probably do a fair bit with that, and you could possibly record more instruments on it, but you'd have to really see if it could work for that.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done, but I'm just more of a stickler. I'm very strict on recording stuff for myself, because I want my recordings to sound the best.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they'll do that and have that all recorded, and had an idea of trying to at least putting out. There's going to be a free download probably on Bandcamp for all of them, but then there's going to be a paid one, the one you can pay for with bonus tracks, and that's what they're all going to be.
Alright, cool.
Just to give a little extra incentive to buy the other one, because some of the bonus tracks are going to be like, because you can't do B-sides, because there's no real records they're going on, so it's just like bonus tracks for demos or covers I did at the time, or things stuff like that.
Yeah. That's cool that you're gonna finally get something out, because I mean I think you've only had one release, and that was with like Rudy recording.
Yeah, that was my demo CD from like 2 or 3 years ago.
You should just put.
It was really bad.
You think you're gonna put that on like? You could like are gonna redo those and like put them on that.
I'm going to redo them, but that's gonna be as my album.
All right. Yeah, that's
no big announcement at all. It's not really important because it's not happening for a while. That album's like, I'm still have mostly planned it, but it's not going to be coming out for a while because I want to like get some time get some air.
Yeah. We'll work something out, kind of the soundboard. Like, are you gonna try and record from Dad's house too?
I could. I mean, I'm not sure if they'd like it. It is quiet there.
Actually, I think we're aimless rambling at this rate, so...
Yeah, we should probably end it soon.
I think, so yeah, new album eventually. You're getting some recording equipment probably relatively soon.
Yeah. We could actually probably cut out the rambling.
I don't care.
I'd say you can cut it out if you can try.
I mean, I don't really care. I don't want to even render this because this is just like a pain in the ass to render. Plus live music, that would just kind of sound weird.
Okay.
Anywho, I think that wraps it up. Only thing coming down the line for me is I got a guitar. I'm going to be trying to pick it up and learn it. I spent $15 on strings because I'm an idiot who overtunes the D string.
Trying to tune the E.
Yeah. But,
I mean, I've almost done that, but I've never broken a string because I catch myself real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna be learning stuff over a little while. Maybe if it comes out right, I can convince myself that I'm worthy of getting a piano and finally learning theory so that I can kind of expand my knowledge and review better. And hopefully, actually, within like a month or so, we can get a studio space with Justin Arena. It'd just be a little bit of money to do that. I don't know, maybe I can open up a Patreon to get a studio space and get some advertising budget. I don't know, maybe some artists wouldn't mind throwing a few bucks here and there for it.
Wait, like, talking about that, you go.
Yeah, but, so, I think that's all I have coming down the line. I do want to start doing videos for the channel, but I still have to I want to come up with a definitive, like, new name because as has been displayed by Brian's confusion in the last episode, this name is kind of difficult to find.
Yeah.
Or is it, if you say not moo, it's like people are going to spell in not M-O-O, like the cow noise. Like, it's going to be hard to like, doesn't have a right flow if you say not slash moo slash.
Yeah, you probably should just change the name and then we'll...
Yeah, then move on with everything else. I just need to find a name for it though.
Yeah. And I know I can help out with doing, if you want to do live video recordings, setups, and you don't want to also best thing. Yeah, I can talk to you a bit about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that eventually. I've got a lot of videos lined up for a bunch of stuff I can do. I think there's a piece I'm looking around trying to get PCs to do a similar setup to what the Faircast does for their podcast. So we'll see. So what can we do? We'll see.
Yeah. I know how they do this.
Yeah. I mean, I've got videos lined up to kind of figure out what they've got. But I think that kind of does it for today. So, just the last bit. What would you think would be a good album for us to review this week?
I don't know. But I mean, I know I'm still trying to push for us to review Dim the Lights' album Ranger.
Dim the Lights' Ranger?
Yeah, that one's I think it's a year or two old, maybe. It might be a bit old, but I think it's still something worth doing, especially if I'm going to be around, because I know their band.
Let's see, Dim the Lights Ranger, let's see how old it is. 2015. That would be the oldest thing we'd review, but I mean, it would be timely since we're seeing Dim the Lights this week.
Yeah, it's something, it definitely is, something we should review then.
Actually, let's see.
And we can
any
really
other releases from them.
They're older. Yeah, Wasted was the one for I think it was the one for We Know. I think.
Or
yeah, it has one song.
All right.
Wait, what's the song on it?
Oh, it's just called Waste, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, I don't really remember that song. I should listen to that again.
But yeah, so
they have Ranger and they have,
Actually, should we do Ranger or should we do Troll 2's Inheritance?
I think, I don't know. I mean, I really think Ranger would be good because we're gonna see Dim the Lights this week and it'll be very relevant.
All right, fair enough.
And then we can probably even talk about how they were live.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess next episode will be Ranger by Dim the Lights. That is gonna be they're a hard metal. The second metal act we reviewed. Everything else has been kind of indie rock.
Well, this is gonna be it's kind of
hardcore punk. So yeah, kind of calling back to the good old days.
Not really. They're not really hardcore punk. They are more of a more kind of modern metal band, which is weird. They're very strange type of metal, and it's not very easy to define. But they how they say it, where they say it really well. They're sad metal band, sad emo metal band from Dedham.
Yeah,
because that's kind of a band.
All right. Shoot. Is it on Apple Music?
It might not be, but you can download that off Bandcamp.
I have to buy it to download
No, you don't.
it. What? Yeah.
It's free.
Oh, buy it.
I have it. Yeah, buy now and you can put it in as 0.
Really?
Yeah, they do that on Bandcamp.
Pay $1 more to add this release to your Bandcamp collection and directly support the Lights. Oh, I can. Yeah. I feel really bad about it, but
yeah, it had to be for reviewing purposes.
Yeah, I'll put down $1 at least. Okay. But anywho, I guess we'll do Dim the Lights this week. Let me just double check. Dim the Lights. Let's see.
Technically next week.
Oh shit! It's on Apple Music, so they will get royalties from me listening to it. So yeah, next week, Dim the Lights, Ranger, and alright. So I think that brings it to the end of the episode. If you like any of the artists that we've listened to this week as we were talking away, shooting shit, you can look into the description below and find some of the artists that we're playing in the background. The only one that isn't exactly listed is the Mostly Stories EP, which has its own listing above the albums in the background. And yeah, if you want to kind of get a nice pair of studio headphones, go to my Shilling section where I've got referral links to Massdrop. Beautiful site for getting stuff. If you want to find me, my stuff is listed below. I don't tweet much. My Bandcamp is just stuff I favorited. So if you want to buy me albums, that's cool. If not, whatever. Angus, they can find you on one of your Twitters.
Yeah, I don't know. You can find me on multiple Twitters, depending which one you want to find me on. I'd recommend the funny one, even though I haven't posted on it in a while.
You should really post it.
I
more
need to.
often.
I need to see if Michelle Obama has a new Twitter.
No, I think yeah, because
She definitely has a new Twitter.
she's not FPOTUS.
Yeah, she's not that account anymore.
Yeah,
But I feel like she has her own account because she likes to she's still people know her.
she's like a big advocate. If you don't have a Twitter
she's like
account,
Oprah without the TV show.
Oprah without the TV show. Yeah, basically like. But yeah, that's straying away from it.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter if you want to. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can find me on Instagram. I think you can find my terrible Twitter under at Nathan_Calsagno. It's all spelled with Calsagno is all spelled with there's no S's, it's C's. It's very weird. And I think you can find my Instagram. I think it's at lore4697.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Lima Oscar Romeo Echo 4697.
And do you have a Bandcamp yet?
I have with that site under Bandcamp. I'm gonna make a new Bandcamp for my solo stuff. It's gonna be under the name Lore of Lima Oscar Romeo
Roger?
Echo.
Oh no.
It's Romeo.
All right.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen eventually, and I'm also gonna be releasing a bunch of weird instrumental stuff I made on a Flash game under this thing of Without Records, all one word. Yeah, it's that's the name. It's just a thing, just an artist listed as an artist. It's on Bandcamp. I haven't gotten any releases up yet because I have to convert them to lossless. But that will happen soon, and then we'll have a bunch of random songs there, very instrumental, uncreative songs, and some creative.
Yeah, cool. And find me at my links. And until next time, peace out, everybody.